Hello students. Today we're going to be looking at European geography. In particular, we're going to look at the countries for your first map quiz. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at our list. And it is important for you to look at these words, notice differences in spelling and pronunciation. I'm going to pronounce each of these words and you can feel free to pronounce them along with me. United Kingdom, Spain, France, Germany, Italy, Greece, Norway, Sweden, Finland, Switzerland, Poland, Ukraine, Denmark, Turkey, and Russia. It would be very helpful for you if you had your own map with you while we go through this. If you have not yet labeled your map, it would be very helpful for you to have a blank outline map of Europe that you can label while we go through the slideshow. If I go too fast during the slideshow, feel free to pause it. You can even rewind it. Those are very, very helpful tools to you as you label your map. The first country that we'll look at is the United Kingdom. The United Kingdom sometimes is referred to as England, but England really is only a part of the United Kingdom. England is one of the autonomous regions in the United Kingdom, joined by Wales, Scotland, and Northern Ireland. Now, be very careful in your labeling. The United Kingdom is only this large island and the very northern portion of the small island. The United Kingdom does not own both of these islands. This island, most of the western island, is called Ireland. It's only this northern section that is actually politically controlled by the United Kingdom. The United Kingdom in the past has also been referred to as Great Britain or Britain. But since having Northern Ireland and these other three regions, it officially changed its name to the United Kingdom. So it is west of the mainland of Europe. The United Kingdom is very well known for its capital city of London. London is where you can go see Big Ben, which is this large tower clock. You can go see the Queen and her family at Buckingham Palace. The next country is Spain. Spain is easy to remember because it is the southernmost, so southern Spain, southernmost country on the Iberian Peninsula. The Iberian Peninsula is this large peninsula that includes France, Spain, and Portugal. Spain is also just north of Africa, so here is the continent of Africa, and Spain is just north of Africa across the Strait of Gibraltar. North of Spain is France. France was well known in history for its fights with the United Kingdom, or Great Britain back then. They were very close in proximity, just a small trip across the English Channel, and you were right there. And they fought for a good part of the 17 and 1800s against each other. France is most well known probably for the capital of Paris, and Paris is where you can go to see the Eiffel Tower. Germany, we have a long line of large countries. And this is right where the northern European plain is. So this was very good farming throughout these large countries. So Spain, France, Germany. Germany was a very important part of World War II. And after World War II, Germany was split into Eastern Germany, East Germany, and West Germany because we didn't want it to be a world power again. This division ended after 1989, and Germany was reunited into one large country. Italy. If there's only one country in Europe that you already know, it probably is Italy, because of its famous shape looking like a lady's boot, kicking the island of Sicily. These islands, Corsica, Sardinia, and Sicily, two of them belong to Italy. Sardinia and Sicily are under the political control of Italy. Corsica is part of France. Italy is a fairly large country. It's called the Apennine or the Italian Peninsula. Surrounded by water, surrounded by the Adriatic Sea, the Tyrrhenian, the Ionian. Basically, it's in the middle of the Mediterranean Sea, but we divide this large sea into smaller seas to better know where we are. Right down the middle of the Italian Peninsula, or the Apennine Peninsula, are mountains, the Apennine Mountains. And then in the northern part of the country, you have the Alpine mountain system, or the Alps. Greece, another peninsula, is part of the Balkan Peninsula. So you have the Iberian, the Italian or Apennine, and the Balkan Peninsula. Greece is an interesting country in that it's mostly mountains. A good deal of the land is mountainous. And if you look at it very carefully, you'll see numerous peninsulas on Greece. Remember, a peninsula is a place where land is surrounded by water on three sides. So you have the Adriatic, you have the Aegean. All of this is part of the Mediterranean Sea. And then these little peninsulas off of Greece. This large peninsula at the bottom, it's a little hard to see since my arrow is right over it, but this round body of land is actually a peninsula, and it's called the Peloponnesus. And this was very famous in Greek history because the city-states that we know, Athens, Sparta, they were located in this southern area of Greece. Like I said, Greece is surrounded by water, so you have the Mediterranean Sea, the Aegean Sea, the Black Sea. This is a picture of a village in Greece. You can see how they build their homes to work with the mountainous landscape. Norway. Norway, Sweden, and Finland are all part of the Scandinavian peninsula. Mostly Norway and Sweden. Norway, Sweden, Finland. Norway is the northwestern country, so think northwestern. Northwestern country on the Scandinavian peninsula. Very mountainous as well. You can see some of the snow that's on top of the mountains. Has a very rugged coastline. It's a little hard to tell from this, but all up and down it, it has what's called fjords. And fjords are very narrow inlets of the ocean. And because there's a warm ocean current that flows along the coast of Norway, their coast actually stays ice-free all year round. So it's surrounded by the Arctic Ocean, the North Sea, the Baltic Sea. Here's Iceland. It's very, very northern. The Arctic Circle is right along here. So for these harbors to stay ice-free year-round, it's a really big deal. And it allowed Norway to always be a leader in shipping and exploring. This is an example today of what a fjord looks like. You have Sweden and Finland, and those round out those northern countries. Switzerland, very small country compared to its neighbors, high in the Alpine mountain system, and it is caught between Germany and Italy. Switzerland is known for its neutrality. It was able to stay neutral, meaning it didn't take sides in World War II, even though it was between two superpowers, Germany and Italy. Poland is next in line, this long train of large countries. Spain, France, Germany, Poland. And the Ukraine completes that string of large countries. Ukraine was actually a republic of the Soviet Union. The Soviet Union fell in 1991, but it was made up of Russia, and then you have these eastern republics. Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, Belarus, Ukraine, Moldova, some of the countries down here as well, Georgia, Azerbaijan, and the Central Asian republics like Kazakhstan. These countries were part of the Soviet Union, and when the Soviet Union fell in 1991, these countries got their independence. And then Russia is the largest republic from the Soviet Union. Denmark is on the Jutland Peninsula, and this completes the 5 major peninsulas in Europe: Iberian, Apennine or Italian, Balkan, Scandinavian, and the Jutland. Turkey. Turkey technically is in Asia. The dividing line between Europe and Asia, if you come up the Aegean Sea, through the Dardanelles, through the Sea of Marmara, through the Bosporus Strait and the Black Sea, that to the east is Asia, to the west is Europe. You continue this way, and you come here through the Caspian Sea, and you see the Ural Mountains. This dark green line in the middle of Russia is the Ural Mountains. And that's the dividing line between Europe and between Asia. We're going to look at this small area. Like I said, you have the Dardanelles Strait. Strait is a narrow body of water between 2 large land masses. You could sail from the Aegean Sea, from the Mediterranean Sea to the Aegean Sea to the Dardanelles, through the Sea of Marmara, through the very narrow Bosporus Strait into the Black Sea. This city, Istanbul, very famous Turkish city historically. This is a picture of Istanbul from the Sea of Marmara. Lastly, you have Russia. Russia is an enormous country, 6 million square miles. Russia stretches the entire length of Asia. It's so long that you can't even see it on the screenshot. It goes around the earth. If you were to get in a car or on a train, bus, whatever, walk, if you started here and you crossed through this western part of Russia, this western part of Russia is where most of the people in Russia live. It is the most populated. It's part of the northern European plain. It's good for farming. It has the best climate. Once you cross the Ural Mountains, you're in an area called Siberia. You have the eastern, western, and central Siberian plains. Siberia has a 4 million square mile forest called the Taiga. It's an enormous forest. And then after you cross through the Taiga, you would then reach the very eastern tip of Russia. You'd be at the Bering Strait. The Bering Strait is about 60 miles wide, and you would reach Alaska. So Russia stretches from Europe almost all the way to Alaska. And that's the end of our slideshow. I hope that you were able to get your map labeled. I hope that some of the clues I gave you will help you remember where these countries are.